Órale, Cholo Trucker, Mas Movies and Shows. And here we got Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix, Volume 5, Episode 3. Número tres. All right. So this one, I did find a little interesting. Now, I've heard of this before, and that is cattle mutilation. I know I've heard of it before. I'm not sure if the older Unsolved Mysteries had a few episodes on it. I'm not really sure. But I do know that I have heard of these mysterious cattle mutilations before, whether it be on the news. I got no idea. I don't remember where I have heard of this. I just know I have heard of these mysterious mutilations when it comes to cattle. Um, Now, this one take specifically in the eastern part of Oregon, but they do, tell you about reports of other cattle mutilations in Texas and Colorado and, throughout the country, but they mainly focus on some of these mutilations that have been happening in the eastern part of Oregon. So basically, what happens is that they go ahead and they find a cow dead without its tongue and their genitals basically gone, right? Or the reproductive organs, I should say. Sorry about that. Let me use that. Reproductive organs gone. And a strange thing is that there's no blood. They find no blood around the cows, which has them really scratching their head like, wait a second, how does this happen? There's no blood anywhere around the cows, and the tongue is gone. It's cut open with like a good cut across either the shoulder or the abdomen or whatever it may be, but there's no blood anywhere around. And another strange thing that's got them really perplexed is the fact that no predators, no scavengers go near the dead cow. Now, you would think out in the wilderness, right? Or in the ranch or whatever it may be, that that would be easy pickings for any, birds or, coyotes or whatever it may be, but they do not mess with any of this cattle that has been mutilated. They do not go and, get any scavenging for themselves or whatever. They stay completely away from it, which is kind of odd. And they've had a doctor for animals, veterinarian, go and try to see what's going on and hey, what's the cause of death? And she can't figure it out. And there's nothing that they can really test on why these cows are dying this way. And there's pictures of it, and it's kind of a weird case of these cattle's just I'm sorry, of these cows just dying, but it's not just cows because they were talking about the one that really got famous, I believe it was sometime like in the 70s or 80s, was a horse, Skippy or something of that sort, that happened down in Texas, where at least that's where they got the report that actually started blowing this up, like, hey, what's going on here? But I guess these mutilations have been happening for many, 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 many years. Um, I think they even went back to like heck centuries ago. But nonetheless, they're not any closer. But as long as these things have been happening, they're not any closer now to figuring out what's been going on as they were back then. They're just as confused today as they were back then. So they're not even an inch closer. Now, some people have said, "Whoa, this is a satanic cult. They go around doing these things for their satanic rituals." Obviously, the biggest one is extraterrestrial, right? Aliens from outer space, because there's been UFO sightings, and some of these places are like way, 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 way out in the wilderness. Some of these ranches are far away from population. I mean, some of these ranches that they were talking about are like 200 miles away from Portland, Oregon, east of Portland, Oregon. So they're way out there, because they don't find any tracks, whether it's footprints, whether it's from any vehicles, two-wheel vehicles, four-wheel vehicles, they don't find any tracks. There's no blood. Whatever they take from the cow, the reproductive organs or their tongue has little to absolutely no value on any market, at least that they're aware of. So they're, very perplexed on like, why would anybody come way in the heck out here, do this, you know, for what purpose? Like what is there's no money to be made that anybody can come up with. So they're very, they're scratching their heads like what the heck is going on here? Because this is a lot of work. And there doesn't seem to be any trauma to the cow, as in like, hey, it was beaten to death, or there's a bullet hole, or they don't even know how the cow even died. There's nothing there of foul play where, it's a couple of stab wounds, or there's nothing. These suckers are just, found laid over, dead, with their tongues missing. Now, there are some cases where the spinal cord is missing, or the brain is missing. And the crazy thing about it is it was missing without no fracture to the skull. So, did somebody, stick their hand up there to pull that sucker out? How is this stuff just coming out? Like, again, if it's human beings, this is a lot of work and a lot of cleaning up, or being very, very, very careful, making sure this is as super duper clean as possible. And as they were saying on there, you would think that at one point somebody will make a mistake. There would be some sort of blood. I mean, human error. It's just it's natural. I forgot how many mutilations have been reported since like the 70s. It's been something like 10,000 or something like that. And you would think, as they were saying on there, you would think that there would be one mistake, or that somebody would see something, or if it's been since the 70s, how come somebody hasn't come forward, some whistleblower or some like, hey, you know what? You should be part of this cult, and this is what we used to do, or something, some blood, anything where something went wrong or anything. But no, like I said just a little earlier, as confused as they were decades ago is as confused as they are now. So, interesting episode. I enjoyed it. Um, this is something that I completely forgot about. I completely forgot about cattle mutilation. I did, but I know I've heard of it before. Where, I can't even really tell you, but I know I have heard of cattle mutilation, and it's interesting because like I said, I completely forgot about it. And now that it's happening, or now that I watch this episode, to think that, oh, wow, that's right. Oh, this is still happening. Okay. I do remember the whole chupacabra thing. I don't remember what the heck it was doing, but I guess it was doing something to cattle or whatever it may be, if anybody believed in the chupacabra. But yeah, man, there's a real head scratcher. So, episode 3 of volume 5, it was interesting. And to bring this back into the light, to say, hey, this is going on, because not too many people are really going to cover this stuff. It's way out in the ranch, and miles and miles way out there. but it is very interesting. It is very interesting, and definitely a mystery that is unsolved. So that is episode 3 of volume 5, Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. Cholo Trucker, Moss Movies and Shows. Catch you guys on next one.